All right, so at approximately 1:15 this afternoon, an officer was out on patrol and actually heard several shots being fired. He called it out over the radio and began checking the area, and other officers arrived to assist, but then we began receiving 911 calls from the 2200 block of Michael, where the scene was located. Officers arrived there and they began investigating and determined that one male had been shot and killed at the scene. Two females were also injured, one from a gunshot wound and another just sustained injuries. And there's a lot we don't know right now, but all of the other injuries besides the deceased male are non-life-threatening. They're receiving treatment. There was a number of people involved in this incident. Exactly what happened is not entirely clear at this point. We're still very early on in the investigation, but all of the parties that were identified, and given the fact that the officers were here so quickly, we were able to make contact with numerous people, and they're being interviewed as we speak. So we're trying to determine the specifics of exactly what happened. Early indications are that this stemmed from a domestic dispute. Again, the exact circumstances are not known at this point, but that seems to be a factor in this incident.
When it comes to the person who died, how old are they?
It's a male. We are not identifying. He's a young male. I don't know his age.
Do you have anyone in custody at this point?
We are speaking to people and determining the involvement of each.
When you say there was a domestic situation, do you know whether or not your officers have been involved with this domestic couple or people before?
I do not.
So are you still looking for anybody? Should the community be on alert or?
We are not actively looking for anyone at this moment. However, the involved parties are still being identified and spoken to. So to say that we have everyone from the scene identified and being interviewed, I'm not sure of that.
The third floor apartment where the window was busted out, is that where the shooting occurred?
Correct. We believe the confrontation began in the apartment and then spilled outside.
When it comes to, you said died of a gunshot wound, correct?
Correct.
Was it just one gunshot wound, or was it?
I'm not sure.
You said your officers heard the gunshots?
Correct.
Do you know how many they heard?
Several.
And did all those injuries occur in one location, right in the apartment?
Yes, as far as we know.
Do you have a gun? Have your officers located a gun?
We have.
What kind of gun is it?
We're not releasing any details right now. Okay.
Was there a person arrested on Godfrey? Does that have anything to do with the situation?
There was officers searching the area. You know, a chaotic scene. Even people who live in the area are wanting to leave the scene, just trying to determine what everyone's involvement is. There were people that were made contact with over there, the exact circumstances of which are not clear to me at this point yet.
Do you know whether or not, I've obviously asked you about the domestic situation, have you ever been out to them before, but have you ever had officers go out to that apartment in particular?
I do not know.
What about the person who died? Have you ever had, has your officer ever interacted with that person?
I don't know that either. We're in a really short time span from when this occurred, and all those details are being investigated by our detectives, but it's too soon to make a comment on things, and I want to make sure we get it right for you.
One more time with the timeline, when it first started?
Approximately 1:15 this afternoon.
Okay.
Right.
Can you talk about just how large of a scene this is? It's not just here, right? I mean.
No, it's pretty isolated to this parking lot and the apartments there.
Is there any immediate danger to anyone else in the area?
Not that we are aware of at this point.
And how many agencies responded? And
to my knowledge, it was just Wyoming.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, yeah, we were seeing like Grand Rapids Police and Michigan State.
Okay.
2 streets over.
I now that you say that, I do recall hearing that a Grand Rapids canine assisted with the track as they're trying to figure out who was involved and making contact with others there. So,
Have these people been cooperative when you were talking to them?
to my knowledge, yes.
And just so I'm clear again, there was no person arrested in a garage on Godfrey.
There was officers that made contact with a person in Godfrey. I don't know if he's a suspect or what the circumstances of that were.
And the
Okay.
broken window, is that because a shot was fired?
I believe so.
outside? Okay.
All right.
Got it.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.